Imagine this. What you're mixing into your coffee could be directly impacting your health, potentially increasing the risk of serious illnesses like cancer and dementia. Yes, you heard right. Even combinations with seemingly harmless foods can have unexpected consequences. But don't worry, there's no need to panic. We'll guide you to make the best choices and turn your coffee into a true ally for your health. Think about your morning routine. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the comfort of a warm cup in your hands. Now imagine doing this, knowing you're taking care of your body and mind in the best way possible. And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. The perfect combinations and the pitfalls you should avoid to make the most of all the benefits coffee can offer. In this video, we'll dive into how coffee interacts with different foods, what it does well, and what it can harm. From traditional breakfast combinations to the effects it can have when mixed with medications. And the best part, we'll share healthy alternatives that are not only delicious but also help you live a healthier life. Join us on this journey to discover how coffee can be both a hero and a villain. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with those you know who also can't live without a good cup of coffee. Let's learn to make smarter decisions together so that each sip is a step towards a more balanced and happy life. Because at the end of the day, what we want is simple, to enjoy our coffee and take care of our health. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. The global fascination with coffee. Coffee is not just a beverage. It's an experience, a lifestyle. From the charming alleys of Paris, where Audrey Hepburn had her breakfast, to the filming sets of Friends, where Central Perk became a cultural icon, coffee has its cherished place in popular culture. Whether it's a cappuccino shared by Harry and Meghan in a cozy bakery or a quick espresso that Scarlett Johansson takes before shooting, coffee brings people together and energizes minds. However, like any superpower, it must be used wisely. The benefits of coffee, a superfood in its own right. Let's talk about the positives, because coffee really has a lot to offer. In every cup. Just like vitamins A, C, and E, which are always mentioned when talking about skin health and aging, coffee antioxidants, such as polyphenols, play a crucial role in protecting our cells against damage from free radicals. Studies show that coffee can reduce the risk of several chronic diseases, such as heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Who would have thought that morning coffee, something many of us drink almost automatically, could help combat diseases that are such a public health concern? Another incredible compound found in coffee, and it's caffeine. No wonder it's so famous. Caffeine blocks adenosine, a neurotransmitter that makes us sleepy, thus increasing our energy, alertness, and mood. It's like suddenly becoming Tony Stark, getting an extra dose of superpowers to face the day. Additionally, caffeine can improve short-term memory and reaction time, explaining why so many people turn to coffee before an important meeting or a sports match. In fact, coffee drinkers have up to a 65% lower chance of developing Parkinson's disease, according to a meta-analysis of various studies. That's great news for all of us coffee lovers. But not everything is rosy. The risks of excessive coffee like everything in life, excess is never good. Imagine coffee as that super fun friend who can be a bit too much if you spend too much time with them. Excessive coffee consumption can lead to issues such as insomnia, anxiety, palpitations, and increased blood pressure. And who hasn't experienced that feeling of being completely wired after having coffee in the late afternoon, only to find that sleeping at night becomes a challenge? This extra energy is not welcome when the goal is to rest and recharge for the next day. Another point to consider is the acidity of coffee. Acidity is a characteristic that gives coffee a certain brightness and flavor complexity. But for some people, especially those with digestive problems like acid reflux or ulcers, this acidity can be an issue. And we can't forget about the impact of coffee on the absorption of certain minerals. If you are concerned about your calcium and iron levels, it's good to know that caffeine can interfere with the absorption of these minerals, especially when consumed in large food combinations to avoid with coffee. Now that we've discussed the highs and lows of coffee consumption, let's explore the food combinations that can turn this beloved drink into something less beneficial. Bacon and coffee, a troublesome duet. First, let's talk about bacon, which is practically synonymous with breakfast in many cultures. Bacon is delicious, crispy, and irresistible, but it's also a processed food full of nitrites and nitrates. These preservatives, when combined with caffeine from coffee, can form nitrosamines in the stomach. And these compounds are not our friends, as they have been associated with an increased risk of gastrointestinal cancer. Imagine if pairing bacon and coffee was like the union of two big movie stars in a film that just doesn't work. It's a combo that can overwhelm the digestive system, especially when coffee increases stomach acidity, creating a perfect environment for these harmful compounds. Studies indicate that frequent consumption of processed meats, such as bacon, is linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer. So, while it may be tempting to start the day with this tasty combination, it's important to think twice about its long-term health impact. Red meat and coffee, a risky combination. Another group of foods we should avoid when holding a cup of coffee is processed red meat. Sausages, hot dogs, and ham are often consumed during breakfast, but they are also loaded with preservatives that can react negatively with coffee. The combination of these foods with coffee can lead to the formation of toxic substances that increase the risk of cancer and other chronic diseases. Moreover, frequent consumption of processed meats can contribute to inflammatory processes in the body, which are associated with the development of neurodegenerative diseases like dementia. Who always seem to be at the top of their game, like Jennifer Lopez or Tom Cruise, we know they probably avoid these harmful combinations to keep their minds and bodies in top shape. Having coffee with something lighter and healthier might be the key to feeling as good as these stars. Dairy and coffee, not always the best partnership. And what about dairy? Whole milk and fatty cheeses are delicious, but when combined with coffee, they can cause gastric discomfort for many people. Caffeine can make lactose digestion difficult, leading to symptoms like bloating, gas, and abdominal pain. For those with lactose intolerance or sensitivity to dairy products, coffee with milk or cheese can be especially problematic. Furthermore, excessive consumption of dairy products with caffeine can interfere with the absorption of important nutrients like calcium and iron. Here we can take inspiration from celebrities who have adopted dairy-free diets, like Ariana Grande or Miley Cyrus, who often choosing plant-based milk not only improves digestion, but also makes a more sustainable and healthy choice. Attention to medications when coffee can be a silent enemy. Besides foods, we should also pay attention to the medications we consume with coffee. Caffeine can interfere with the effectiveness and absorption of certain medications, enhancing or reducing their effects. For example, thyroid medications, antidepressants, and anticoagulants are some drugs that can be affected by coffee. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Pharmacology highlighted that caffeine can alter the pharmacokinetics of certain antidepressants, like fluvoxamine, increasing their plasma levels and enhancing side effects such as anxiety and insomnia. It's interesting to note that even celebrities like Emma Stone, who has openly talked about dealing with anxiety, probably have to be careful with coffee while taking medications. Knowing how caffeine interacts with your drugs is essential to avoid unpleasant surprises. Healthy alternatives to pair with coffee, the best of both worlds. Now that we've discussed the dangers of certain combinations, let's talk about the healthy alternatives that can turn your coffee into a true gourmet experience. Natural sweeteners, the sweet that does good. Instead of using refined sugar, which can add empty calories and negatively affect blood glucose levels, you can sweeten your coffee with pure honey, maple syrup, or stevia. These alternatives not only sweeten your drink, but also bring health benefits. Honey, for example, is not just a natural sweetener, but also has antioxidant properties and benefits for respiratory health. Beyoncé, who always shares health and wellness tips, has probably sweetened her tea with honey, and it can work wonderfully with coffee too. A smart and tasty choice. Plant-based milks are becoming increasingly popular, not just among vegans, but also for those who want a lighter alternative to dairy. Almond, oat, coconut, and soy milks are not only delicious, but also have nutritional profiles that can complement coffee without the issues associated with cow's milk. Tom Hiddleston, who is often seen with a cup of coffee in hand, is a big fan of oat milk. This milk is especially popular for its creamy texture and mild flavor, which pairs perfectly with coffee, creating a rich and satisfying experience. Fruits and coffee, a refreshing combination. Adding fresh fruits to your breakfast not only improves digestion, but also provides a dose of vitamins and fiber. Fruits like strawberries, blueberries, and bananas are excellent options because they bring natural sweetness and a texture that complements coffee well. Often we can see athletes like Cristiano Ronaldo, who follows a strict diet, choosing these fruits to start the day. The combination of coffee with fresh fruits is not only tasty, but also helps keep energy stable throughout the morning. To coffee is a delicious trend, a perfect marriage of popularity among coffee enthusiasts. Cocoa is rich in antioxidants and can improve mood, besides adding a deep chocolatey flavor to coffee, turning it into a luxurious experience. Gwyneth Paltrow, known for her healthy and sophisticated lifestyle, often shares cocoa coffee recipes on her blog, Goop. This type of coffee is not only a treat, but also a healthy option that can be enjoyed any time of the day. Cinnamon in coffee, the special touch. Cinnamon is another excellent addition to coffee. This spice not only adds a warm aromatic flavor to the drink, but also has anti-inflammatory properties and can help regulate blood sugar levels. Adding a pinch of cinnamon to coffee can elevate the drinking experience, giving it a gourmet touch reminiscent of the cheapest coffee shops. Many celebrities like Jennifer Aniston love adding cinnamon to their breakfast coffee for that special touch. Cinnamon is also a way to reduce the need for sugar, as its natural sweet flavor can trick the taste buds, reducing the craving for additional sweeteners. We can see that, like everything else in life, moderation and conscious choices are key. Coffee can be a powerful ally for our health, as long as we know how to combine it with the right foods and avoid the dangers of certain mixes. And why not make the most of this incredible beverage? By opting for foods that complement coffee and avoid harmful interactions, we can turn the simple act of drinking coffee into a daily ritual of well-being. Now, we want to hear from you. What is your favorite coffee combination? Have you tried any of these healthy alternatives? Leave your comment below and share your experiences. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family. See you next time and keep exploring the world of health with us.